Hello again and welcome back to Generation Studios. My name is Pierre Benamy. I thank you for taking the time to come here and have a chat with me because today is going to be a video. I might need a part two because I know I'm going to be rambling because it's about one of my favorite subjects, which is anime, Japanese animation. And there's a lot of anime nerds out there, and I consider myself one of the better looking few of them, So I have no shame about that because anime has been a very big influence in my life when it comes to film. Film in general has, and it has led me down the path of wanting to be a filmmaker independently of Hollywood. It makes me want to make my own films and to produce my own original works. And one of the driving factors behind that was Japanese animation, because when I was a kid, a lot of kids grew up watching Power Rangers, and we didn't know at the time, but Power Rangers is kind of like a Americanized version of a Japanese children's show. And we at the time we didn't know that you're watching something Japanese. So I used to watch, as a kid, I used to watch cartoons and Power Rangers. I used to get off the school bus and I used to run home and throw my backpack down, and the first thing I do is I start watching Power Rangers. I watched Power Rangers probably for a lot longer than I should have as a child, but I did it anyway. And so I was watching cartoons and Power Rangers, and then I didn't know what it was, but at one time I saw something. It looked like a cartoon to my child mind, but I didn't know what the difference was. I didn't understand a concept of what anime was. So when I grew up watching, my brother loved Dragon Ball Z, and I was a kid, I kind of understood like Saiyans and Saiyajins, and I used to call them Super Saiyans. I don't know why I said Saiyan, but I used to call them Super Saiyans. I didn't really understand the story. I just knew that they turned golden. But for me, it was just a weird cartoon, and I didn't really even pay much attention to it as a young child. And then when I got a little older, I saw a show called Escaflowne. And as a kid, the soundtrack and the characters and the machines, it just blew my mind as a kid. I didn't know why Bugs Bunny was different from Escaflowne, which was an anime, a Japanese animation. I didn't know why it was different. I just knew that it was. And I just knew, like, this is amazing. I didn't know why Digimon and Pokemon were different from, like Spider-Man. I didn't know why they're different. I just knew that they were. I just knew that they were amazing. But as I got older, I came back to Dragon Ball Z, and they had a show called Toonami. That showed, it was on cable, and it had a lot of different animes on it. And that kind of, I don't know, even still, I didn't really understand what anime as an industry was. I just knew, okay, this show was called anime, but I didn't know that there are so many more. It's like, okay, there's Dragon Ball Z, there's Sailor Moon, there's, these are shows that are different from what Bugs Bunny is and Spider-Man. But I really didn't know more than that. And then eventually, I encountered Eureka 7 and Cowboy Bebop and Trigun, probably around the same time. And it was those animes that had such a profound artistic effect on me, where the way the worlds were designed, the challenges of the heroes, the backstories of the villains, those things just blew American content out of the water for me. And then I started my long journey coming away from Western film. I started watching Chinese movies. I started watching Russian movies. and I started watching Bollywood. I started branching out from just the average American ethos so much where it's very hard to go back. It's very hard to watch a American show for me today. It has to be like sci-fi or fantasy for me to even give it a shot, because romance and slice of life and just the daily old American comedy and sitcom, I just can't do it anymore. It's just not enough intellectual depth in there. And so around this time, maybe like 13, 14, I'm really entering this anime world. And there are so many creative concepts and motifs that rubbed off on me that I have even until today. But I'll say among the early animes that I experienced, I guess you would say the more adult ones, Eureka 7 was the one that really, Eureka 7 and Cowboy Bebop. Just like in the early 2000s that I saw these for the first time. Even though Cowboy Bebop was made in the 90s, I never heard of it until the early 2000s. But Eureka 7 really captured, I guess, who I was at that age. Eureka 7, the main character, his name is Benton, I think. And he was about the same age I was watching it. And he's just pulled into this world of adults. And he's just looked down on as just a kid, Doesn't know anything, can't do anything. He's just here to eat, basically. That's exactly how I felt when I was that age, when I was 13 or 14. My family, we just went through a divorce, and before the divorce happened, I was just a kid. And then all of a sudden, now you have visitation. You used to be in a very tight-knit family, and then now you're the only one left at home. And it's just this kind of emptiness and loneliness that you have as a child of divorce that really changes you for years and years. Children of divorce that grow up into adults today, they have so many scars that they have no idea that they have. They just haven't dove deep enough to find them. And I spent a lot of time doing that to try and repair those things that are in my psyche that I didn't know were there. So I've done a lot of work fixing all that. But at the time, it's like I'm watching this kid Benton in Eureka 7, and his life is exactly like mine. He has a girl that he likes, and can't get her attention, not courageous enough to ask her out, and you have all these adults just pushing around and telling you what to do. Growing up at that age when it was just me and my mom, and I had 3 other siblings, and they all, some of them were kicked out of the house, and my dad moved away, he remarried, and so much was going on where I'm just thrown into the world of adults, completely unprepared. I had teachers at school I had a problem with teachers at school, and I just had a very, very big disdain for authority, and just like this kid and watching the show. So it was like, that's when animation really connects. And you don't get that when you're watching, Spider-Man swinging from building to building, in a cartoon. You don't get that from the X-Men. You don't get that level of connection as a child to a character just like you. It's very rare. Maybe some people do, but at least I didn't. The X-Men and a lot of the Marvel cartoons growing up just didn't have that kind of intellectual depth. And a lot of the villains in anime, they're just regular people. It's not just like, okay, Spider-Man is fighting the Hobgoblin or he's fighting Venom because they're just bad. It's like Spike is fighting what's his name, Valentine or whatever his name is in Cowboy Bebop, for a reason. Neither person is sinless. It's just the average person. It's the average person's story that catches you. And I grew up watching that from a young age where it's like I'm kind of spoiled on it, and I can't see anything else. I can't, well, I don't think anyone can watch Charlie's Angels, but but I can't watch movies like that where the good person is just beating up the bad person because it just doesn't work that way for me anymore. So, animation, Japanese anime filled a void, an intellectual void at me at the time that completely resonates with me as an adult today. And then as I grew up, I saw more anime, and there's a lot of weird stuff in anime that the average person won't understand. And even there's so much weird stuff in anime that, I kind of even have to overlook, or like, what is going on? So I'll be honest, there's a lot of stuff like that. But I guess the main reason for me bringing all this up is that animation like that, or filmmaking in general, when it's done right, it fills the hearts and minds of young generations to do incredible things. And it changes things in them that are in opposition to their environment. So my environment, I was filled with a lot of bullies, had a lot of teachers bullying me. I couldn't connect with my mom anymore. I didn't have my siblings around. All this stuff was happening as a child going through a divorce. But, anime was that one thing that came in and kind of kept it all together. Then as I got older and new animes came out, there was an anime called Bleach. One of my most favorite animes. There was an anime called Code Geass. These characters and their ambitions and their willpower to succeed, it makes you think, man, I want to be like that. It makes you look at yourself, and and you put an imaginary stepping stone above you. But you always remember, like, man, this is me, but these virtues or these values are so amazing. I want to one day be that way. And then when you finally get into adulthood, you realize that a lot of those virtues and values are learned through fire. You have to be pressed, and you have to be forced to live through those values. And that's one thing I guess I'm realizing now, that, these hero stories are so much similar to just the human walk of life. And as I create my characters and my original works, when I start focusing on 3D filmmaking like I will be doing in 2020, and as I collaborate with other young creators, all this is going to be in the back of my mind. All these lives of characters and heroes and their plot progression and the plight of the villain, just as important as the plight of the hero. These concepts are so important for conservative filmmaking and Christian filmmaking and filmmaking and writing in general. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on, because so much of that is just who I am. It's who I've grown to become. And I want to share that with the next generation. But I want to do it in an amazing, epic, and just awesome way. We're not going to be telling tales anymore. We're not going to be, counting ducks. We're going to be, in 2020, the new creators who are going to stand up and have surpassed their trial by fire. We're going to be amazing individuals. You are going to be an amazing individual. And we're not going to stop with just mediocre film and entertainment like the left and progressives in Hollywood, the mainstream media, Silicon Valley, all these group of elitist thugs, basically. We're not going to take what they're going to push on us. We are the future. And people who think like us have always been the future. And it's just going to continue to be that way. There's more of us, and we have truth and righteousness and justice and God on our side. It is what it is. You can't get mad at the wind. You can't get mad at gravity. You can't get mad at common sense. It just is, and it will always be that way. And progressivism, by the time it catches on, it will no longer exist. So that's my rant for today. And thank you for showing up and listening to it. If you want to help and support me, then my links are below. My GoFundMe is still there and not yet full, wink wink. So if you want to donate or share that, be more than thankful for that. Like to see all of you in 2020, and I like to see all of your amazing work as well. I'm open to collaboration. Right now I don't really have my system set up to create yet. That's the whole point of the fundraising thing, but I will get there, and so will you. So just keep it up, and I'll see you next time.